In her New York Times article, Americans Haven't Found a Satisfying Alternative to Religion, Lauren Jackson discusses the recent rise of interest and openness toward religion and spirituality in the U.S., breaking the 30-year trend of decline. Along with plenty of data regarding the recent shift in American attitudes toward religion, she expresses her nostalgia for the time she spent in the LDS Church. After years of trying and failing to capture the magic of institutional religion in purely secular contexts, she expresses what feels like regret for what was lost in leaving the religion of her youth. And now, so far removed from that context and having grown as a person in ways that seem incompatible with it, it feels like one can't go back. Jackson's longing for what religion proffers stirs the same reminiscent feeling in me. Similarly to Jackson, I don't feel like backward is the direction I am meant to travel. Since leaving religion myself, my attempts to capture that same solace, confidence, and connectedness have not been in vain. In fact, I've been able to capture that lightning in a bottle time and again without needing to know the nature of God, the meaning of the universe, or what will happen when I die. But it would simply be a lie to tell you that I haven't noticed the trend toward religion and spirituality in my friends, my acquaintances, and even in myself. Jackson's article doesn't stand alone. Books like The School of Life's A Replacement for Religion and Jamie Wheel's Recapture the Rapture, Rethinking God, Sex, and Death in a World That's Lost Its Mind have explored what might come next as an alternative to religion. This, in addition to the many, sometimes substance inspired, spiritual but not religious musings on true spirituality I've had the pleasure of beholding. Though I've found each of these exploratory works genuinely titillating, I've wondered what new thing they bring to the table. In what ways are rituals for creating meaning, practices for experiencing transcendence, or non denominational spirituality distinguishable from the religious practices we have at our disposal already today? In spite of popular narratives around who killed God and why it was science, the change in religious momentum indicates to me that maybe religion doesn't need a replacement at all. Maybe our focus on replacing religion is a fixation on the finger that points to the moon. Why would we want to replace religion? The reasons for replacing religion seem to come down to two goals. Either religion causes harm and thus needs to be removed and replaced with something that doesn't, or religion does something good but is missing in a person's life and thus needs to be replaced with something that performs the same function, providing the same good. Religion's declining influence throughout the modern era, its enduring presence into the 21st century, and its recent revival tell a story about how the desire to replace religion is rooted both in the need to escape the bad and rekindle the good. The bad parts of religion. From Dante's Inferno and Luther's 95 Thesis to Paine's The Age of Reason and Dawkins's The God Delusion, the list of religion critical works is nearly endless, as is the variety of the critiques themselves. Whether written by outsiders, non-believers, or the very adherents of the faith in question, these works denounce the historical problems in traditional and institutional religion, such as abuse of power and authority, misalignment of belief in truth, ethical issues, and individual autonomy. Whether arising mutually or causally from these issues, secularization became a dominant force in the modern era. Technological and hierarchical changes brought about and reflected shifting values, giving way to science, liberalism, reformation, and revolution. These modern priorities seem to culminate in the dramatic 30-year decline in religious affiliation in the US, leading many to speculate the end of institutional religion altogether, as Jackson discusses in her article. Yet it didn't happen. And now that dwindling Christian congregations have stabilized while other religions are on the rise, one has to wonder, what happened to the apocalyptic prophecy of the secular takeover? If religion has all these bad parts and people are dying and revolting and reforming just to escape it, then why are people going back to religion in the 2020s? What good does religion do that makes it necessary to replace? The good parts of religion. In my own exploration of religion, and in my work with Dustin on Enlightenment for People, I've concluded that religion provides critically beneficial systems of belief, ritual, and community. I'm sure that either Dustin or I will discuss these at length in a future post. But regardless of our amateur analysis of one of humankind's oldest institutions, I was delighted to learn in Jackson's article about the three B's of belief, belonging, and behavior. Of course, the large part of my thrill is having my own worldview confirmed, but the value in a simple paradigm of the benefits of religion cannot be overstated. For example, Jackson discusses the comorbidity of lack of religion with many of the modern staples of illness. The religious are less likely to suffer from depression, suicide, alcoholism, cancer, and cardiovascular illness, among other conditions. She even cites a study that showed that women who attend church regularly are 33% less likely to die a premature death. This is exciting because if the causal relationship between religiosity and illness could be determined, a paradigm like that of the three B's could be useful in designing a satisfying and science based replacement for traditional religion, blending the best of both the secular and spiritual worlds. If I'm not mistaken, that same study about premature death in women was included in Robert Putnam's Bowling Alone: The Collapse and Revival of American Community. In that book, Putnam discusses the concept of social capital, which describes the value derived from social interactions that can be facilitated by investment in community spaces, events, and participation. In his section on religion, Putnam speculates on the reason that religion is such a powerful institution for building social capital. While it may be tempting to reduce the benefits of religion to the obvious social benefits of belonging to a community, Putnam argues that the connection fostered by a shared value system and worldview may be underappreciated as a foundational driver of the behaviors that improve health and cultivate connection. In spite of centuries of declining attendance, churches continue to thrive because belief motivates people to show up. When congregations show up, that creates social capital, promoting health, longevity, and community well being. The secular world, on the other hand, doesn't appear to have the infrastructure necessary to build the same social capital. Jackson shares her attempts to find the same belonging in the void of religion, attending a secular church called the Sunday Assembly, and even asking Richard Dawkins himself for some invaluable advice. The advice? Play golf. As much as secularism may provide a belief in worldview, it struggles to create the same belonging and behavioral frameworks, thus falling short of the title, a satisfactory alternative for religion. Simply put, religion is an effective, off-the-shelf solution to human well-being. In a time when people talk about an epidemic of loneliness, which is an immensely complex and multifaceted issue that doesn't reduce down to mere church attendance, an over-the-counter solution to well-being seems like a pretty valuable proposition, in my estimation. So if you ask me if we need a replacement for religion, I say, I don't know. Looking at the moon. Even though she can't reconcile its ethics or truth claims with who she is now, Jackson longs for the comfort and community of her childhood faith. That longing points not to the dogma, but to the satisfaction she once felt through the three B's of belief, belonging, and behavior. A simple and approachable solution to human well-being is worth replacing, but those who focus on the replacement for religion make the mistake of fixating on the box of religion as an institution and forget that it's the contents that mattered all along. Although the numbers indicate that the religious are statistically happier and healthier than their faithless counterparts, that doesn't mean that all who attend faithfully are happy and healthy. The fact that we have yet to find an adequate replacement for religion isn't a concession that religion must be accepted wholesale, warts and all. Religion is just a vessel, and even the most beautiful vessels need to be cleaned. What really matters is people and how their needs are met. And although religion works really well straight out of the box, it's not a one-size-fits-all solution. The real task isn't replacing religion with another box. It's ensuring that everyone has access to the contents inside: belief, belonging, and behavior. Those satisfied in religion don't need replacement. For people who belong to a religion in which they benefit from the three B's, there is no need to replace what ain't broke. Those harmed by religion need religious reforms. Where religion impedes the freedom, well-being, or happiness of people, it should be adjusted to prevent the negative effects that we have seen throughout history. This goes for effects within and outside of a church's congregation. Only when religion promotes well being is it that effective and useful institution for building social capital. When it fails to do so, it simply isn't producing good fruit. Those outside of traditional religion need alternatives, secular or not, that provide the well being cultivated by the three B's. Those who are totally independent of religion and suffering from disconnectedness may need a replacement for religion, but then again, it may not be necessary to replace religion for these people at all. If a religion can be assessed by its ability to foster the three B's, then perhaps a religion could be designed on the very principles of belief, belonging, and behavior without any of the bad stuff that drives secular people away. If the goal is enabling people to live happy, healthy, and fulfilling lives, then I believe it's possible to provide what religions do and without the historical harms. A simple approach based on a minimal framework like the three B's could enable secular and spiritual people alike to engage with religions, new and old, in ways that help them meet their needs, find meaning, experience the exhilaration of transcendence, and live authentically through an approach centered on well being. I think this question is only the beginning of what will be a fruitful, good fruit, conversation about the role religion has, can, and should play in the lives of people. So, do we need a replacement for religion? I think the question is the finger, and the reason we ask it is the moon.